Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, human being, American, and YouTube Ronin, and I would like to welcome you to Reserved Seats, the new and improved version, formerly The Other Side of Midnight. Like to say hello to everyone joining us right now on X. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. All right. I'd like to say hello to everyone joining us here in the chat. Faithful Blue Wrench channel member, the Bird Woman of YouTube. Watch out for her channel, Fluff Chick Productions. It's Connie Cleary. The Tired Midnight Blogger himself, channel member Curtis Selby. Friend of the channel member Dark Woods Presents. Our resident Klingon, Mark Mounikoff. Our man from the future, Sashi. And channel member Space Farraggle. All right, so I know some of you have been wondering exactly where the show has been. And I decided to make some changes. I wanted to bring the show back to a more, dare I say it, kind of intimate style, more one-on-one, more of an interview setting. I'm not saying this is going to be the Nixon Frost interviews or anything, but I just want to make the show maybe a little bit more entertaining than it had been. So tonight is going to be the trial balloon, and it's going to be up to you to decide if you like this iteration or not. So I have my first guest, someone that you all know. This is a woman who threatened me if I did not make her my first guest on the new show. She sent me several emails and also some voicemail messages, which had each several minutes of gratuitous verbal insult attached to them. Yeah, you know her, you love her, you cannot live without her. Sense Corner.
Okay, look, it's gotten ridiculous at this point. I'm asking for proof of these accusations that aren't photoshopped or AI generated.
I have sent all proof to the FBI and the Secret Service, and I'm sure they will be speaking to you
Lord, have
shortly.
mercy. And the pressure. This is the trial balloon. I'm feeling such pressure now.
No. So the pressure is all on me, folks. And a very
Corey.
modern woman, indeed. Hello to Corey, Wokies, Movies, and Music. All right. Great first guest, indeed.
Hey, Space Fraggle.
Since Corner's heart must be Klingon. If she did so, I salute her. All right. So, first off, how are you? How have you been? What have you been up to?
I have been busy and tired. Yeah. Busy. And when I'm not working, I'm watching movies and trying to do reviews. So yeah. That's how I've been. Had a little scare with one of our little fur babies, but fortunately she's doing better now. So yeah, I'm happy.
Right. All right. So, for those who are maybe new to my channel and yours, how did you join the potential crap storm that is YouTube?
Um it stemmed from me wanting to talk about stories that I liked. I work in the field of audiobooks, and a lot of the books that I was working on, they just weren't my thing. Like the genre is just not my thing. And so I love my job, but I was like, I want to talk about stories that are of more interest to me. And so I started doing yeah, thank you. It was a little scary there for a bit. I started doing trailer reactions. I was inspired by Grace Randolph, believe it or not, to do trailer reactions, and then eventually I started doing reviews. And yeah, that's how it started.
Mhm. So you went on from there, and also you have a sound booth theater. How did that come
Yes.
about?
Soundbooth Theater is the audiobook company that I work with. In 2016, I started doing audiobook narrations, mostly nonfiction, because you don't really have to act very much when you do nonfiction. You just have to be able to, sound like you're talking naturally, and that was easy enough for me. And in the meantime, I had helped my brother edit some of his books, and he was looking for a narrator. And so during the course of me becoming involved in audiobooks, I was starting to network with people on Facebook. And I eventually found a narrator that I became friends with on Facebook through a mailing site or a mailing list called Audiobook Boom or Audiobook Blast. I don't know if they're still active anymore. Um, and there was a basically you request an audiobook. If they give you the audiobook, you have to review it. So I love audiobooks because I love stories. And I had requested a book, got the book, put it on my list to listen to. And then I saw another book and I was, oh, this is cool. It's about a witch. It's cool. And I put that request in, and the audiobook, the narrator of that audiobook wrote me. I'm actually getting around to what I'm trying to say. The narrator wrote me and said, "Hey, I see that you put in a request for this book, but you had requested another book a while back and you haven't reviewed it yet. I'll be more than happy to give you the code if you'll, review that other book." So, oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was you. So I listened to that first book, and it was called The Anonymous Source by AC Fuller. And I was like, wow, this is really impressive work. It's multicast, and there's like a girl, and there's like a middle-aged guy, and then there's this younger guy, and then there's this black guy. And it's like, wow, he got all these people together. But at the end of the book, it was it said narrated by Jeff Hayes. I was like, wait, what the heck? What? Found out, yes, it was just one guy. And I was so impressed with his stuff, I became friends with him on Facebook because I was a fellow narrator. And I put him in contact with my brother. I said, I think I may have found the narrator for your book. So he narrated my brother's book. And after he narrated my brother's book, he reached out to me and asked if I wanted to be his audiobook proofer, because up until that point, he had to do it all by himself. What a lot of people don't realize is when you're starting out, you have to narrate and you have to edit and master your own work. And that is that's a huge amount of labor. And he was getting to the point where he was having so much work, it was hard for him to do all of that. So he hired me to be his audiobook proofer. And from there, it just grew and grew. And now we're Sound Booth Theater. So yeah, I've gone through a bunch of different phases with the company, and I'm director of operations, but now I'm kind of like Jeff's sort of gatekeeper um, uh, person, and trying to corral him in and make sure he stays on top of things. So yeah, in addition to still proofing audiobooks. So that's my story with Sound Booth Theater, and got started in 2016, late 2016.
Right. Hello to Logical Spark, who has a question. Is that Nosferatu thing
Oh,
to
I
your
s
left
just
a big book or what?
it's
Yes.
just a poster.
Ah,
It's a poster, and I have another one that we got when, Artur and I went to go see it on Christmas Day. There was another poster I found. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is one I got on Christmas Day. Another poster I found, when I went back to the theater, and that's one of Lily Rose Depp. So yeah, can you tell I like Nosferatu?
Indeed. Well, my little bit of swag from my theater going experience for Nosferatu was to get the Funko Pop of the original. I know there's a bit of a glare of the
Original
original
Orlok?
Count Orlok
Oh
from
my gosh.
22, the
Wow.
2022 version. And now
Oh, okay.
I'm someone who's not exactly big on Funko Pops. I always said I am not going to buy one of these things. And I have
There's one right there. Wonder Woman 1984. Sorry, go ahead.
and I now have like almost 40 of them now.
Oh
So
gosh. Okay, wait. You're not big on Funko Pop.
right.
I don't believe you, sir.
Well, not
Look, he
now.
runs and hides. Look at that, he runs and hides.
Right.
Oh,
Let's
that's
see.
cool. You shall not be.
Gatekeeper, I need to send this. You shall not
Yeah,
pass.
I'm kinda like the Jeff Corraller is what I try to be. Oh my gosh, that kid. He's not a kid, honestly, but I'm old enough to be like his very young mother or older sister, so he'll always be a kid to me. But I love him. He's a great guy.
There's an action figure out for Nosferatu.
Eh,
Cool.
you talking about for the recent Nosferatu? Or you referring to the oh, you say action figure, that's not Funko Pop. Okay.
No. And hello to Illuminated Pro, name I'm seeing for the first time. Welcome to the
Same.
show.
Hello,
Right
hello.
on. Mark Malikoff says that's like me telling my wife I won't buy any more trains.
Mm. Oh boy.
All right.
Oh yeah, I noticed his
Okay.
his picture there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sashi
the
says the
original.
original Nosferatu.
Okay.
Right on. All right. So, let's get down to it since we have a bit of a, slight disagreement, I think, on Nosferatu. I think you seem to have enjoyed it a little bit better than I did.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
I'd never seen the original one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, since then, since I've seen this latest one, I did go back and find this like available somewhere. I don't know where it's on some streaming site for free. And I just jumped through it just to look, and there is no way in Hades that I would like that one more than this one. I can't. I don't like silent films, and the melodramatic acting that silent film stars had to do doesn't work for me. It's comical. I can't. So yeah, I really enjoyed Eggers' version. I am not
Mm-hmm.
an Eggers fan. I don't necessarily hate his work. He just doesn't resonate with me. I wasn't crazy about The Witch. The Northman was okay, but I really love this film. And I know not everyone feels that way about it. Kind of surprises me, but oh well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know there were those who thought that the pacing was off on it. I thought it was too in places, so I can kind of see that. And I think because you brought up the sort of the exaggerated gestures that they did during the silent era, which I don't disagree with you on here and there. I felt they did some of that in this film, and it just
With her
kind of
fits,
threw.
with her hysteria.
Well, no, that's a whole different thing. I was speaking namely of Aaron Taylor Johnson, as he came off doing that exaggerated kind of bit to me.
Oh, see, I loved his performance actually. I felt like
Mm,
he was sort of portraying like this very haughty, stuffy, uptight British person, not too uptight. I mean, he wanted to make out with his wife in public, but he's just very, stiff and stern, and that was just like he to me, he just represented that type of person. I thought he did a good job at it. But then I like Aaron Taylor Johnson, so I don't know, maybe I had a little bit more, not that you dislike him, but maybe my
No,
like for him gave me a little bit more, I don't know, had me give him a little bit more leeway. But I thought the way he acted in some parts, like his frustration with everything that was going on, it just I found it a little bit humorous, but not because I felt like he was overacting it. It was just the situation he was in, and what sane person is going to believe the stuff that's being told to you? It was just like, what are you talking? Like his mind, he just couldn't deal with it.
he just couldn't get there. Granted,
No, no, no.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's subjective,
Of
and
course.
and the, the,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
people the people who get upset at the other people who don't like the movie, I don't get that. It's just like, you're not film Twitter, knock it off.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's every movie. You either you like it or you don't. It's just not your cup of
Yeah.
tea. And
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that I hated this movie. There's quite a bit about it that I like. Um, I think Bill Skarsgård is fantastic. He's really creepy,
Oof.
Orlock.
Lord
Um,
have mercy.
uh,
Yeah, he was creepy. Oh my gosh, that guy.
you
He
know,
he's such an actor.
I like the production design.
Mhm.
We brought up on Mystery Movie Night the sound design
Oh gosh,
is
right?
fantastic on it.
Some of the
Um,
shots and the framing, oh, jeez, I loved it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, story wise, I had some issues,
You know,
but I think if I went back and saw the previous films, namely the 79
I wanna
Werner
rewatch that
Herzog.
one. Yeah.
I want to rewatch that because that might give me deeper insight into this version. But the thing is that Eggers has said in interviews he was mainly focusing on the 22 version.
Yes.
I don't see it.
Well, I did
It,
in
it felt
the
more like the other film to me.
it well, I only saw that other film sort of in passing, like it was playing while I was working.
Mhm.
Um, isn't that one kind of a mixture of the actual Dracula and Nosferatu? Like, aren't the characters in there Lucy, like Mina, Dracula, or am I confusing that with another film that came out?
I think they do call him Dracula
Yeah,
in it.
okay. So I
Yeah.
wonder I
Um,
wonder how much of each actual
you
story
know,
they incorporated.
because I know Herzog's ending is different.
Okay.
All of the well, I don't want to say that the ending of Eggers Nosferatu is different from the 22 because it's really not. It's just more graphic.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
just a
and
more graphic version of it. But
right, and
the there is something that takes place because I'm trying to talk around it because I don't want to give all of these movies away for people who haven't seen it.
mhm.
But there but the Herzog version goes one step further. There's something that happens after that to another
Okay,
character. And that kind of makes you
okay,
go, oh, what does this mean? You know.
okay.
And Eggers doesn't go there, and I thought he would. But like I said, it's all subjective. I don't dislike the movie. I just was hoping to enjoy it more. I
Mm.
understood what you're I wanted to feel it on an emotional level.
Oh,
And
see, I did.
I couldn't get there,
Yeah, I actually did. That's interesting.
you know.
Um, when I first saw it, it was a screener, so I watched it on my little laptop screen,
Mhm.
and I felt like I had issues with the pacing as far as the ending. I felt
Mhm.
like the ending initially to me felt a little bit rushed, and I wished it had been given a little bit more time, but you have to remember also I was watching this in parts. Like, I think I took 2 or 3 nights to watch it.
Mhm.
Um, and then when I sat down in the theater and watched it in one sitting, my perception about the pacing at the end was not the same. It felt better to me.
Ah,
So, I do have one complaint that remains.
okay.
Um, I did not like that final shot. I do not like it
No.
at
No.
all. Um, Whenever I buy the copy of this, I will just stop the movie right before that final shot, and that'll just be the end. That's it. Just it didn't work for me at all.
Yeah, no. Because I know there are some people who find that final shot humorous. I don't know if it's meant to be.
Oh, no, it's not
Uh,
meant to be. It's
I
absolutely
think it
not
just
meant to
I
be
think it just
humorous.
comes off I think it comes off gross, really.
It
It's like,
it's it it
ew.
there was a
Also, he
guy.
skipped leg day. You
Yeah,
know?
right?
Yeah.
There was a guy next to me when I went to go see it on Christmas Day. He kinda chuckled when it showed that scene.
Hmm.
So, there's something about it, it felt like a dash of cold water on you after this very emotional event that had happened, and then it just, like, snapped you or me, it snapped me right out of the moment, and I was like, I could have done without this, that did not help at all."
Hmm.
So, that complaint remains.
Hello to John Doe Juggalo, friend of the
Hey,
channel. Check out his channel. Discussions on physical media, and so check him out. Also, hello to a name I haven't seen for a while, Euler Greg. Good to see you, sir. Nosferatu is not your typical silent film. The German expressionist is exemplified by exaggerated visuals, so it's special. I like that, and I'm also a big fan of the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, which was from the kind of the same era, and
I remember seeing that
of
as well.
course, and of course, Metropolis.
Hmm,
Mhm. Let me see. Illuminated Pro says Nosferatu,
best adapt
not perfect. Um, so was not a fan of the ensemble cast. Wanted a central focus. Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, the story is an ensemble. It always
Mhm.
was. You know, it comes from, and of course, Nosferatu was sort of an unauthorized adaptation of Bram Stoker's Dracula. I
Oh,
mean,
not
um,
sort of, it absolutely was an unauthorized.
Stoker's
Yeah.
Stoker's widow threatened to sue.
Yeah,
So
so they made some
that's why
difference.
they had
Yeah.
to change the names and the location where it takes place.
They also changed some, they changed the ending, um,
Mhm. They
pretty
changed the ending.
significantly,
Yeah.
and, the basic framework remains the same.
Mhm.
The husband goes off to do this real estate thing in this far away, European country or whatever, and the whole thing happens, where he's stuck there in the castle, and then, the vampire gets on the boat and comes, kills everybody, comes to the area and, starts doing his thing. That's like the basic framework, but they had, multiple changes, obviously. So it's almost like its own separate story, but, you can see that it was inspired by the original.
Oh yeah. And hello to Anime Night 1992. Good to see you, sir.
Hey.
All right. So yeah, I do tell you one part of the movie that I thought worked like gangbusters was those early scenes of um, I keep wanting to say Harker. He's Harker, Hutter, whatever, same
I
character.
know, right?
When
Thomas,
when he
whatever.
when he is in the castle, there was a point where I was thinking this could almost be its own movie. Just this section of the story.
Well, there was a Netflix show,
Mhm.
maybe called Dracula, miniseries, and a good portion of that was about his stay in the castle. I mean, that
Hmm.
made up a huge section of it. So, that was if you kinda want a taste of that, you could check that out.
Hmm.
I can't remember the actors who starred in it.
But I remember thinking those were the creepiest parts of the movie for me.
Yeah, pretty creepy.
Um, and also this version, and maybe they did it in the other versions, and I'm just blanking out on it. There seemed to be more of this occult angle to it,
Um,
especially with Knock.
he kind of like
Yeah.
well, he seemed to me to be like the Renfield character.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I don't remember there be well, I guess it's sort of representative of entering into a compact with that type of creature is almost like occultish because you're dealing with dark stuff and like demonic type stuff. I mean, they even sort of turned what was going on with the character of Ellen. What's her name? Ellen,
Mhm.
right? Possession by a demon. So they added those
Right.
elements, which is kind of like, Dracula, vampires, they are supposed to have this ability to kind of hypnotize you and control you. So it would be a little similar to, a demon possessing you and things like that. I found that pretty interesting.
Mhm. Yeah, because that's definitely an angle that Eggers added because you have that whole opening sequence where she essentially capitulates. She gives herself to him. All right, if and I'm like, cool.
Right.
You've
And that,
kind of you've already hung yourself, haven't you? Just in
yeah,
the
I mean,
first 5 minutes of the movie.
yeah,
Yeah,
she opened the door to
yeah.
that whole thing. Well, because of her, like the way I love the way they talked in here, the wording that they used to describe things. So, like,
Mhm,
basically, she had this sixth sense, or she was psychic, or stuff like that, and like she was a conduit. She was open to these things be of the beyond, and so she had obviously, um, you know gotten involved with him years before, and it messed with her. It messed her up on top of her the issue she already had with her, her extrasensory perception and things like that,
mhm.
which, back in the day would have, pretty much branded her as a witch.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is they don't really go there, perhaps, per se, but I think because he kind of already dealt with witches already, he's kind of like, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
we're not gonna
true,
turn this into the
true.
witch part two, you know.
Yeah.
Anya Taylor Joy isn't gonna show up in the middle of this and just go, come with me and join my coven, you know. Which I had to admit, going off on off topic here a bit with the witch, that ending threw me when I first saw that movie, and I'm like, wait a minute, what was she? Was she evil the whole time, or is it?
uh I was under the that ending annoyed me. I didn't like that ending. But the way I took it was that not that she was evil, but that she just ended up joining sides with them. She just gave
Yeah, it
herself
was it
over
was
to
more
it.
of I can't if I can't beat them, then
That was the way I
where
interpreted
am I
it.
going to go?
Yeah.
Um, I do like The Witch quite a bit, but that ending when I first saw it, like I said, it did throw me for a bit of a loop and kind of made
Yeah.
me rethink things. Uh, but yeah, I mean, Eggers is kind of hit and miss. I say he's hit and miss but the only movie I had any real issues with was The Lighthouse. But it's kind of like this because there are things that I liked and things that I didn't, you know.
I
But
never
I mean,
was interested to watch that movie, and I'm glad I didn't because I know I wouldn't have liked it.
you know, it's I get when people say it has elements of Edgar Allan Poe, and maybe I'm just wanting to bring that up because it's Poe's birthday. But
Oh, yeah, that's right, it is.
so I get that. But even if you don't like the movie or if you aren't interested, watch it for Willem Dafoe because he's fantastic in it. Um,
Well, he's fantastic in anything, but
well, yeah,
I don't think I love him enough to even want to watch that movie.
yeah,
But yeah,
I
I love Willem Dafoe.
yeah, I got in trouble with that movie because I took my girlfriend at the time to it, and
Oh,
it was not
cup
her
of
cup of
tea?
tea, you know,
I can imagine.
because I think she more went because she just wanted to be with me. But we sit down, we have this nice dinner. We're going to go to this movie theater we've never been to before. You know, which the inside of which was this very kind of old school theater experience. Um, I think there were just too many mermaid vaginas in it for her.
Oh,
And I'm like,
I am
oh
so
yeah,
glad I did not watch this movie.
yeah. Let's just say that there's a close up that was
Oh,
maybe a little
Lord.
unnecessary.
Oh my gosh.
And she walked out of that movie going, "This is the stupidest movie you've ever taken me
Oh.
to." And I'm
Oh,
like, "I'm in
no.
trouble."
Yeah, I know, Illuminated, a lot of people do like it.
Damn it. Oh well. Um
Yeah, too
the
much.
Lighthouse was great. Now I know there are people who like it. There was just elements of it for me that just that didn't work. But it's an original movie. It's not. It wasn't a sequel. It wasn't a franchise film. He was
Yeah.
trying to do something original. I respect it.
Yeah, he's a
E-
talented
e- e-
filmmaker for sure.
even if I don't like how necessarily everything about it, you know,
Yeah.
I admire the try, and it worked for there are more people that liked it than dislike it. I'm just kind of in the middle on it. So Pattinson's really good. That surprised me. I mean, he
Well,
needs to
he's a good actor. I mean,
when
he is
he's
a good
not in a
actor.
Twilight film. Yeah,
I know that unfortunately that has sort of stained his image, but I've seen him
yeah.
in enough other things to know that he's a decent actor.
Oh yeah.
I still never liked him as the pick of Batman slash Bruce Wayne. I still was not on board with that even after I saw the movie, but not because I don't like him as an actor. I just did not think he was a good pick for the role.
I I thought that film had other problems, but
Mm,
I think the first half of the Batman
I
is the
enjoyed the
best
first half.
Batman movie ever made.
It was very detective-y, which I liked. I did like that part of it.
And then when he turns into Antifa Man, that's when I'm like, okay.
Who?
Oh,
The
when yeah, they had to do the whole eat the rich thing,
Oh, yeah, that
and
thing. Yeah, yeah.
and oh, you have to do better, Mr. Wayne. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah. Shush.
woman, he's
Get
already
out of here with
Batman. What
that.
are you doing?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it's like, oh Lord, you know. But
I and the thing something else that annoyed me about that was, the character, that Zoe Kravitz played. Um, I was
mhm.
just starting to like her a little bit, and then she threw out that completely ridiculous and unnecessary line about rich white assholes.
Yeah, and it comes out of nowhere. It
Yeah,
is
it
the
was like,
idea is
"Oh,
that
okay, you just had to insert something about race in there. All right."
because
I didn't like
you're
that.
basically you're basically taking this version of Batman and putting him in what I felt was the world of the games because the way Gotham City is designed in that film is very much the way it is in like the Arkham Knight games, the Gotham Knight
Mm,
games, like that. So it's like it did very much have that look to it that I enjoyed. Okay, you made Gotham big and scary again. It's not just some cobbled together version of Chicago and New York. You made Gotham its own thing. It's its own world. That I felt okay. I can walk around in, and that's usually what I like the best. And I've said this about Twin Peaks, and I've said it about Blade Runner. It's these worlds that I would want to walk around in. I could see. Okay, you set this kind of you've built this world, you've set it up. I could come up with my own story
hmm.
just using the environment, and that's what I liked about Gotham City and the Batman. You know, um, despite the fact that the movie's basically just ripping off Seven anyway, but
Mm.
I was fine with that. Okay, Batman and Gordon walking around, you know, the scariest hell looking hellscape of the city trying to solve this crime. Okay, there's your movie. And
Yeah.
then they bricked it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I wasn't
you know,
super in love with it.
no. I am curious about the Penguin series though, with
I've heard
Colin
good things
Farrell,
about that.
because so have I, and I did think he was the best part of the
Oh, he
film
was good.
ultimately.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
He
um,
disappeared into that role.
he did. So yeah, modern movies are just not working for me for the most part. I don't know about you, but I do feel this decline in quality. The movies that come out now don't have the rewatchability factor of the past. Um,
It depends. I mean,
you know,
I agree with you in some respects, but there are
hmm,
also plenty of films that I have absolutely loved. So, I don't know. I haven't crunched the numbers or anything, but it does feel like there is a lot of focus on reboots and remakes, sequels, and a lot of throwing money at movies and thinking that that's going to somehow make a good product, and that doesn't necessarily work. I think
hmm,
also part of it is that you have a lot of with the advent of social media and actors, celebrities getting on there, they've done a lot to sort of alienate fans as well from
hmm,
movies. And then there's also the issue of writers, a lot of writers becoming sort of activisty in their approach to storytelling, when it didn't feel like that was really so much of a thing.
hmm.
But you have moments where there's, really good things here and there. So I don't know.
Let me
Take it on a
the
movie by movie basis.
yeah, the Substance. I haven't seen the Substance yet.
I a
I'm
lot of
I'm
people
hoping to do
love
that
that
maybe this
movie.
week.
I am not one of
Man,
them, unfortunately. I part ways with a lot of my fellow YouTube movie buddies
mhm,
on that movie. There was stuff I liked about it, but, the over the top stuff at the end was just like, and just continuity issues with things that the characters were doing. It just I was aggravated by it, so I couldn't give it a great review, unfortunately. I like her other movie better, her first movie, Revenge, I like that one.
Yeah. Yeah, Revenge I did see. I thought it was fine. I wasn't in love with it. Um, but I get its point, you know. Um, and those guys deserve to get messed up. Let's just be
Oh,
honest.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It
That
was just
it was
it was a revenge, I mean, the
it's
title says it all. It was a
revenge. That's
revenge movie.
that's what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, pretty straight up death wish, I spit on your grave kind of a movie,
Mm.
and yeah. Um, but this seems to be just story wise more of a leap forward, more complex, or at least
The
an attempt at a
substance?
more complex. Yeah,
Yes,
an
it
attempt at
has
a more
something to
complex
say.
film.
There's a definite message to it.
Hmm.
There's nothing really wokey in it or anything like that. So that's not any issue I have with it. I do appreciate certain aspects of the point that they're making. But when it got cartoony and ridiculous at the end, that's the way I felt about it. That was just like, that was it. Just kind of started to lose me. Plus, it was too long. It felt way too long.
Hmm. Yeah, that's one thing that I think is kind of an issue with films is the fact that you have these 3-hour movies that have like 75 minutes of story in them. And I
Yeah,
would really, and yeah, Illuminated says the at the end was a lie. Yeah.
yeah. It
Um, the movie lost my wife in the exact same ways. Yeah. Well, I like I said, I'm going to try and see it this week because it's available now. So I'm going to try and I guess I'll just kind of fork over some cash and rent it and see it and kind of give it my own space, because I do think, and we'll get to this. I do think it's going to get a Best Picture nomination.
Oh, I have no doubt it will.
Yeah,
Yeah. I thought you were
even
gonna say
though
it's gonna get a Best Picture win, and I was like, I don't know."
uh I do have a couple of ideas about what might win, but we'll get to that a little bit later on here. Um, but let's just put it this way: there are a few movies from last year I've yet to see. Um, Substance is one of them. Um, I'd really like to see The Brutalist, but
Yeah.
I'm I'm gonna have to watch that in a way where I can like pause it somewhere in the middle and maybe come back to
Yeah,
it.
it's like
But
I heard it's a long
yeah.
one. I can't remember if that's one that I received a screener for, but I just was not really interested in it. Um,
Mhm.
but I've heard, nomination talk about it. I'm looking for a meme that I saw about the award season. So I'm gonna
Oh,
scroll and look for it as we talk,
okay.
and
So
I'll post it in the chat
cool.
if I can find it.
Now, well, I'm hoping that we get back to the days of these like hour and a half to 2 hour long movies, and I think we seem to be coming back to that. One movie I know we both liked last year was Sing Sing. That's
Oh, it's such a good film.
2 hours. Um, the Captain Falcon movie is going to be under 2 hours. I'm glad to hear that. Um, there's a movie that just came out this weekend. It's like an hour and a half. That's comedy. The one of them days or something. I hear that's like 90
Oh,
minutes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping that we are returning to this. Yeah, and John's bringing this up in the chat. The art of the 95-minute movie seems to have been lost. I hope it's
Nobody
coming
was
back.
about 90 to 95 minutes long.
Yeah,
That
nobody's
packed a lot
95
of story.
minutes.
I was impressed with how well they did that.
And I'll tell you what put me back on this tangent. Um, Other than the fact that Chris Gore used to bring it up a lot. I rewatched not too long ago. I rewatched The French Connection,
Okay.
and for some reason, I always had it in my head that that movie is like 2 hours and 15 minutes long or
It
something.
seems like it would be a long movie, doesn't it?
It's not. It's an hour and 43 minutes,
Oh, okay.
and they pack a lot into that hour and 43 minutes. And that movie won Best Picture and screenplay and director and actor and everything else. You can tell a good story within 2 hours. If you're making a dramatic movie, keep it to 2 hours. If it's a comedy or an action movie, a half hour, hour 40 minutes. If you want to go over 2 hours or go into the 3 hour mark, I can see doing that with a biopic or a historical epic. That's fine. Transformers does not need to be 3 hours. Batman does not need to be 3 hours. That's just the way I look for it. So I'm hoping that we get back to these shorter and mid-budgeted, because that's
Yes.
another thing that is,
Spending way too much money. They're spending way too much money
the
on
Captain
movies.
Falcon movie, before it gets to advertising, is 375 million.
Oh, good lord.
It has to make close to $1 billion to get that money back, and it's
Yeah.
not going to do it because they just spent an entire phase of the MCU alienating the fans. Nobody's going to go see this thing.
Yeah,
Not as many people as they
it's
need.
yeah, I don't think it's going to, I definitely don't think it's going to like, it might have a decent opening weekend.
Mhm.
They've been throwing out numbers about it. I was just looking at stuff like that. But I don't know. I've been hearing it's got good word of mouth or positive, it's got a positive reaction from uh people that have seen it, screeners or whatever.
Mhm.
But who knows if that's just something that they're trying to
Yeah, I mean,
put out
I, I
there.
I don't want anybody to misunderstand me. I hope it's good. I want the MCU to return to what it was. And if this is going to be a step in that direction, then great. However, with all of the reshoots, with all of these test screeners, which is another problem, it is, that leads to this whole, make a film via committee. No, you go in with a solid script and you do not start filming until you have a locked in script, and
Yeah,
a script written by one or two people, not 10 people who are all going to get their fingerprints on it.
agreed.
Have a director. Don't cast a director. Hire a director who can do the job. You know, I don't know with this thing, man. I mean, just, Giancarlo Esposito is playing the villain. His
Yeah.
character wasn't even in the original script.
Oh,
He was
good
added later. That does, wow.
Lord have mercy.
Okay. That's not gonna.
I
That
have
doesn't
nowhere.
sound good.
I'm not gonna watch this movie. I have no interest at all in it.
No, neither do
Um,
I. But I we'll see.
I
I
well,
may end up
I
seeing it,
don't
but
like Anthony Mackie as Captain America.
No,
I know
he's
I know in
Falcon.
the comics Falcon does become Captain America, but for one thing, he's not a super soldier.
No.
Um, Also, I just don't feel like he's got the charisma to really carry something like this.
Mm.
He just doesn't do it, um, for me, I think. Also, he's an asshole to his fans that wanna talk to him in real life. I don't like that either.
Mm.
So, there's just, like, the more I know about Anthony Mackie, the less inclined I am to want to watch, something like this.
Mm.
Maybe I'll go see Thunderbolts.
Well,
I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah, my most anticipated
that's coming
list
up this
doesn't
year.
even include, yeah, but my most anticipated list doesn't even include those types of movies at all.
Yeah.
So I'm actually kind of excited for this coming year. There's a lot of movies that are of great interest to me that seem to be original type of movies. So I'm, hoping for a better year than last year.
Oh, indeed. I haven't posted a best or worst of 2024 list yet. I'm hoping to do that hopefully here in the next couple of weeks.
Well, I already
Um,
have one that's going on my best for 2025.
well, yeah. Um,
We already talked about that one.
we have. Um, and unfortunately, that's a movie that is being kind of unfairly maligned online
Oh,
right now.
absolutely. It's,
You,
actually a little bit annoying.
yeah, you can tell these are people who have not seen the movie either.
I
So,
haven't yet
yeah.
seen, I'm sure they're out there, but I have not yet seen a negative review of the film by people who have actually seen it.
Mhm.
And
Right, yeah.
it feels, it's weird. It's like people just assumed something about the film, obviously based on the trailers, because the trailers are, they're confusing. When I first saw the
Yeah.
trailer, I'm like, why?
Mhm,
But I was like, well, I know who Robbie Williams is, and I like advertising space, so I'll watch it at some
mhm,
point. But it's like that's all people are focusing on. And then it also seems to be kind of like an attack against him. Like,
mhm.
you're making a movie about a guy who's not even relevant in the United States. He's notoriously known for not even being able to crack the United States, and he hasn't been relevant for a decade. Why do you think people, it's like, but the movie's a good movie. Like,
Yeah. And that's not the
what is
point of the
wrong with you?
movie, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
The movie
Um,
is about what fame and basically his own.
Untreated mental illness, depression
Yes.
can do to people.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And when we did the review, we're talking about Better Man, folks, for those who don't
Oh,
know.
I'm gonna go see that again
Um,
tomorrow, by the way. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm gonna go watch it
cool.
again
And it's
before it goes out of the theaters because it's gonna be gone soon.
yeah. Says, "Oh, really? I want to see the Robbie
It's
Williams.
so good,
See
it's
it.
so good.
It's
Please go
very
see it on
good.
the big
I was
screen if you
surprised.
can. Yeah,
Yeah.
same, same.
Because I went into I mean, I knew who Robbie Williams was, but I'm not really familiar with his music. I don't know his story. Now I get it,
Mm.
and I was mostly very impressed by the way that they depicted his depression because as someone who has had to deal with that in recent years, I understood it. I got what they were going for, and that okay, you have now placed me thoroughly inside the head of this man. And
Mhm.
there are people who are making Planet of the Apes jokes and all of this, and I'm like, clearly you didn't see the film, you
Yeah,
know,
or
you know,
also not even
knock it
bothering
off.
to investigate, like, why is he a monkey? Well, why don't you read up about it and find out? Then you'll know why. You're just automatically wanting to just poo-poo it
Yeah.
without even understanding anything about it. The downside for this film, unfortunately, is
Hmm.
that they spent a lot of money making it.
Yeah.
They spent $100 million making it, and I think was it Paramount that spent $25 million to distribute it here. So it's not going to make its money, and that's
No,
really unfortunate because it is an excellent movie.
it is.
And it's going to be one of those films that just crashes and burns at the box office, but I think the more people see it, eventually it's going to come to be, appreciated a lot more by more people, let's
Yeah.
say.
And I hope that it at least gets nominated for visual effects at the Oscars, because the way they did
Yeah.
that
Oh,
effect of him as the ape,
as the chimp or
yeah,
ape or
the
monkey or
chimp, ape,
whatever. I think chimp.
monkey, whatever.
Yeah, I don't think it was
Yeah,
an ape. It was supposed to be a monkey or chimp, but whatever. Yeah,
you know,
it deserves some recognition for
and
sure.
like, and as I brought up in our review, that whole sequence where he has the meltdown during the concert,
Yeah.
that yeah, that was very impressive. Um, and also brought back the whole King Arthur motif that they had established at the beginning with
Oh, yeah, yeah.
with the grandmothers. So it was
Yeah.
a callback to that. Um, I
Yeah.
just looked, every theater within an hour of me, no better man. Yeah, this is probably going to
Sucks.
lose screens very quickly,
Yeah, it
and
is.
it is a real shame, because it is a surprising. I was surprised. I went into it thinking. I mean, it was kind of on my watch list anyway, but I
Yeah,
wasn't. I
same.
wasn't
I
like.
figured I would like it. I did not
I
expect
wasn't
to
in a
love it.
hurry. I wasn't in
Same.
a hurry to see it.
Same.
But I really, because we went into that movie because it was a mystery movie night
We were for
selection,
sure
and
it was gonna be Den of Thieves.
we thought it was going to be Den of Thieves, and I even went and watched that first movie the afternoon
Yeah,
before,
I did
you know,
too.
to get myself ready and psyched out to see
Same.
this movie, and
Oh, and I was like,
well,
"Well, shit." When
and
we saw it, it was like, but, I take that back. I take that back. It was just I was disappointed because I was all geared up for something else, but I take
mhm,
that back.
yeah. And
Yeah.
based on what I'm hearing of Den of Thieves 2, that's not going to be in theaters much longer either.
No,
So,
it won't. Unfortunately, I enjoyed Den of Thieves too. I thought it
hmm,
I thought it was a solid follow-up
yeah,
to the first one, but that one's headed out pretty soon.
yeah, I haven't gotten to it yet myself. Um, I know I shouldn't be excited about it, but I am. I'm excited for
I'm
Hard
excited for
Eyes.
Hard
I'm kind
Eyes.
of curious for that one
Yeah,
too.
I'm definitely going to go,
Yeah,
whenever tickets go on sale. I'm gonna go see that.
I
Absolutely.
would.
I've already got a bunch of tickets lined up
uh
coming
I
up.
am willing to bet it's going to end up being a mystery night. I got a feeling it's going to be a mystery night.
Do you think it's gonna be the one on the 27th? Or do you think it's gonna be what was the other one you suggested that it
I
might
w-
be?
well, the 27th, I'm figuring that could be Companion, but it might
That's
be
right.
Hard Eyes, though. That's
I would be
that's a
fine with either one
possibility.
of those.
I
Do have
Yeah.
a ticket for Companion. I'm bummed because when I saw the first trailer for
Hmm.
Companion, I had no idea what the heck was going on. None. And then they've done another trailer that I saw when I went to the theater the other day to watch Wolfman, and
Hmm.
I'm super aggravated because now I know more about it than I really wanted to know about it, and that aggravates me.
Mm.
And I won't say, in case you haven't seen it and you guys haven't seen it, I would have liked to have not known something that I know about one of the characters, and it reminds me of my frustration with the Abigail, trailer,
Oh.
where they basically reveal to you what's going on with the little girl. It's not the exact same situation, but what I'm saying is it reminds me of that.
Mm. Well,
So, stupid trailers.
the part that gave me some pause about the Companion trailer was the whole "from the makers of Barbarian," and I'm like, "Oh shit."
I was disappointed with the ending of Barbarian. I liked it up
I
until the last act.
I thought Barbarian was predictable. I knew what was going to happen in that movie from I 10 minutes in, I knew everything that was going to happen. And it was just like, okay, beat for beat for beat. Oh, Richard Brake's here. Okay.
Mm.
He's just going to be the little psycho bastard that he always plays. And yeah, the ending was goofy. Yeah.
Oh, there was too much
I
wrong with that. All the stuff that
no.
happened. I kind of ranted about that a little bit. I mean, like I said, I was disappointed because I liked it up and like it had me throughout
Hmm.
much of the film. Smile, I liked it also up until the end. Um, but what aggravated me about Smile, so with Barbarian, I didn't predict everything. Like you said, you figured it out. I didn't. I just there was just stuff that it just started to crash and burn in the last
Hmm.
act, like I said. But with Smile, it was solid for me all the way up until the end. Um, but the character does something um that from that point on, I knew exactly how it was going to end. And I was very frustrated because I wanted it to subvert my expectations and it didn't. And that pissed me off. So those two movies, I have, very positive feelings about them, but also very negative feelings about them. We'll see with Companion.
Indeed. All right. Well, let's get to the monkey and the wrench here.
I
We
posted the
were
link, by the way, to that meme.
yes,
I found it.
indeed. It is in the chat. Let me scroll up here. Yeah, hit the chat there for the meme. Now let's get to the like I said, the monkey and the wrench. We were originally uh, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on this date in particular was that Friday was the original date that the Oscar nominations were supposed to come out.
Right.
And with, of course, the situation there with the wildfires, and that has pushed things back to now Thursday. I was originally supposed to be on Geeky Geezers tonight as well to discuss it. That has now been pushed back to next week.
Yeah, it's
Um,
throwing a monkey wrench.
hoping everything that will go well. I mean, obviously, what is going on with the fires, that is more important. They need to uh, regroup because a lot of people are homeless after this thing. This is the thing that has to be understood. There are some people who I've seen online who are quite frankly kind of happy about it, who are saying, okay, let them burn. And I'm like, what you got to understand is I understand the anger. You've also got to understand that there are people who have lost homes who are civilians, who have nothing to do with, the film industry. You also have people who are animators, who are key grips, who are PAs, the people that work behind the scenes that we never see. They're just names that scroll up in the credits at the end of the film.
Right.
These are people who have lost everything.
It's gonna be much harder for some people
Yeah.
to get back on
They,
their feet. I feel bad for everybody that
mhm.
has lost. I mean, I it was quite disgusting to me actually to see the glee with which some people were expressing their sentiments about certain celebrities that lost houses, and they thought that that was just they deserved it. That's what they get. That sort
Mhm.
of crap. But you know, um, it's their house. Yeah, they probably got millions and millions of dollars and they can buy another one, but that's a place with memories. Maybe some
Yeah.
of them raised their kids there. You know, maybe they lost things that they will never be able to recover. So there's just tremendous loss and pain, no matter what you know, what end of the financial spectrum you're on over there, and it's just it's terrible. I heard that Mel Gibson's house burnt down, and he lost a lot of old uh books and stuff that he
Hmm.
had that were like hundreds of years old or something like that. So like I mean, these sorts of things are very valuable just historically, and they're gone now. They're just gone.
Hmm. You
It's
know,
crazy.
I know several people who know the actor Vernon Wells. Um, he lost his home in the fire. A lot
I,
of
I know who he is. He
memorabilia that goes back decades on
yeah,
films that he's worked on. Yeah.
there was a
Y-
director I interviewed on my channel, and he had worked with Vernon Wells.
mm.
So that's I hadn't heard that he had lost. Wow, that's unfortunate. That's terrible.
You know, so anybody who thinks that these fires are some sort of or own or something, don't get that shit out of your head right now. All right. There are, yeah, there are maybe some people who have said some stupid stuff over the last few years who are caught up in the middle of this. But you've also got to understand that there are these the quote unquote below the line people. Like I said, caterers, makeup artists, they're caught up in this too. People who are civilians, people like us, just trying to go on with their lives. YouTubers who have lost their homes.
Oh, really? Anybody we know?
No, no, nobody in particular that I know, but
Oh,
I do know a couple of people who had some close calls out there. Now,
yeah,
so, but before you go celebrating this and oh, let them burn, think about it before you say it. Um, so yeah, but
yeah.
yeah, no one deserves to lose, and no, absolutely not. Uh, I've seen people being mean to physical media collectors, lost things. Yeah, there's I forgot who it was, and there was somebody who put up a video who said, "Look, that was the spot in my house where I had all my physical media, and it's gone."
Oh,
You know,
wow.
and when you're somebody obviously like sin, like myself, uh, like John Doe Juggalo here, we make we pride ourselves in the physical media that we have collected. A lot of money goes into this,
Yep. Some
and
things aren't
it's
available anymore.
yeah. And then when you lose that, you're not necessarily. It's not just going to be. There isn't a button you can press and just poof, instant house.
Yeah.
These are people who are going to either have to rebuild, or is I think a lot of people who are probably going to move
Yeah. Yeah, that's
from
what I
that
was just
area.
thinking. Mhm.
I'm already hearing about people, you know, well, I'm going to move out of LA and go to Las Vegas, or I'm going to go to Florida. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if they went to Georgia or North Carolina and tried to revitalize the film industry there.
Well,
Because there used to be a lot of shows that used to and movies that used to be filmed in North Carolina.
yeah, that's true.
There are TV shows and movies that are shot in Georgia more than you
Yep.
think.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Um,
stuff going on in Georgia. Yeah.
Absolutely. So it says, I followed him before the fire. Feel bad for him. He's just a regular guy. Loved his art. Yeah.
Mm.
Um, Karma's a bitch. What goes around comes around. People should be careful what they say and what they wish for. Indeed. Went through a fire in 2012. Lost a room full of Trek stuff. It was a lot of work listing it for insurance and trying to replace. Yeah. And that's another situation that's going on out there is the insurance companies have left California.
Yep.
So these people are in a lurch. They're not going to get anything back for this. A lot of people moving to North Carolina right now and in Georgia, right in my area. Yeah. All right. So, like I was saying, is that the Oscar nominations were originally supposed to come out. And we've had since then, the Writers Guild has announced their nominations. And I think the one that's the most interesting is the Producers Guild. Because I think that's going to be the list. I think that's going to be, I think what they have listed as Best Picture probably will be at the Oscars. Let me
I was
very
gonna ask you,
quickly, yeah,
what is that?
let me very quickly boot this up here. Producers Guild Awards 2025. Okay. Bear with me a second, folks. I'm going to, all right, scroll up here. All right. So they are listing Best Picture nominees: Nora, The
Okay.
Brutalist,
Okay.
A Complete Unknown, Conclave,
Oh, yeah, that's the one I was waiting for.
Dune Part 2,
Okay.
Amelia Perez,
Of course.
A Real Pain,
Okay.
September 5,
Nice.
The Substance,
Okay, expected.
and Wicked.
Mhm.
And that's their 10. I think unless one of the animated films sneaks in, I think that's going to be the Best Picture list.
It sounds right. Those have been the titles that have circulated through, like the different awards
Mhm.
groups and stuff.
Illuminated Process, Complete Unknown will not
Probably
win.
probably not.
I don't think it will. I know there are a lot of people who like it and have gone to see it multiple times. I do know some people that's their number one for the year. Do I think it'll win? I don't think it will, because I think it. I thought for a while there Nora would maybe pull it off, but I'm starting to think that it's going to be this horse race between The Brutalist, because it is that long kind of old school Hollywood epic sweep to it. But I think the movie you got to watch out for, love it or hate it, is Amelia Perez. I got the feeling that they're going to go with that.
That would not surprise me, and we all know why.
Mm-hmm.
We all know why. And a lot of the Academy members, they it feels to me like they're often very bandwagony.
Mm-hmm.
And so right now this trend is, you know, Emilia Perez because of a certain subject matter. Um I could also see Conclave taking it. Have you seen Conclave yet?
I have.
Then you know why
And
it could potentially
yeah.
take it.
And if you want to have a fun viewing experience, watch that movie with a Catholic,
No!
which I have. And he definitely had some
Oh, I can imagine. So
issues. Um, one of them was the use or lack of the use of Latin
okay.
in the film, um, which actually comes up at one point in the film, which I thought was interesting. Um, and he and I'll try to talk around this for people who haven't seen the movie yet, although I think that it's probably pretty much out there, the twist. Um, because they keep going back to, a clinic in Switzerland. And they bring that up a couple of times before they get to it, before it's
Mhm.
explained. And he's like, a clinic in Switzerland? He keeps going, because I knew he was thinking about it, and I went, do the
Okay.
math.
Okay.
And I go, do the math. And he goes, oh! I'm like,
See, that part
yes.
never that I knew the twist before I went into it because I'd
So did
seen
I.
someone
Yeah.
saying something about it on Twitter. That I didn't wanna know that. I would have had the same reaction. It wouldn't have changed how I felt, but, I didn't put anything together about that,
Hmm.
the thing with Switzerland. So, but I already knew. So, yeah, that one was a
Yeah.
frustrating one because there's a lot about that movie I liked.
Yeah, me too.
A lot. But I knew it was coming, and so when the thing was revealed now some people have it a little bit wrong, what the reveal was, but given things that have been going on, it 100% feels agenda motivated, the messaging,
Hmm.
and that aggravated me. I so because of that, the movie loses me as far as, being able to love it completely. It's like I loved it all the way up until that point. And then this happens and it's like, "Oh, okay, I see where you're going with this, and I see the messaging that you've got behind it, and this is stupid."
I
So,
mean, the the ending of Conclave doesn't tank the movie for me as badly as the ending of The Order did.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
But
true. I wasn't as pissed about
no,
that. I no, I get it. I completely
because
agree with you. It's
because
just I I know like, if I'd watched this movie 20, 30 years ago, I don't think I would
mhm,
have had that visceral, annoyed reaction that I did because it's happening now. So,
mhm.
that's why it's a problem for me. But yeah,
So,
I agree with you about that.
I asked my friend about it. I was like, did you, because this is a guy who was not down with a lot of the, shall we say, putting 2024 politics into a film. He's not down with it.
Mhm.
And so I asked him, did you think that's what the movie was trying to do? And he came at it from another way. And he told me that there was all of these secrets going on and all of these cover-ups. You
Mhm.
had you have the cardinal who's trying to buy his way into the papacy.
Yeah.
You have the fact that you find out that the pope himself did not trust his own inner circle. You learn that during the course of the film.
And then there was, like, this
You have
issue with one of the other ones and his
mhm,
past.
right.
Yeah.
And he saw the ending as, okay, this was just an other secret that had to be covered up.
Mm.
And I thought, well, that's what made me feel a little bit better about the ending of the movie, because I could see that as being the intent of this was just one more thing that had to be hushed up.
Well, it would definitely be hushed up, but I don't
Yeah,
feel like that was the intent. I don't feel like that was the messaging.
my and hello Arturo.
Hey, Arthur.
Um, it's actually not too bad.
Well, we're
Um,
streaming on different channels, and he pulls in more audience than I do because he's more of a live streamer than I am.
you know, um, I would be very curious to know if the ending is the same in the book because it is adapted from a book. I would be
It
very
probably
curious
is.
to see
Let
that
me look. I'll
if
look
the
it
ending
up.
is the same, because if it's not, then I would be a little bit more suspect. How dare he?
Okay. Um, I think it's the same.
Is it? Okay.
Mhm. I mean,
Because
the
then,
AI, search engine basically said what it was.
hmm, okay.
Sorry, go ahead, you were
Because I
saying?
mean, I could look at that as just okay. They just did a straight adaptation. Because I got to tell you, again, a movie that stays to 2 hours. It's paced well. It's well acted. It's well shot. I like the
Oh,
score.
yeah, the score, I love the score, I love the acting, I
Um,
love the pacing, I loved all of that. I am with you on
you
that.
know,
But this book was written in 2016, so it's pretty recent.
hmm,
So the book is agenda motivated as well, unfortunately.
hmm,
That's how I will always view
yeah.
this story.
But if and it will get in for Best Picture, I guarantee it will.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
of course.
I I actually don't have a problem with it being there. Um, but yeah, let's discuss a few of these other ones. Like I said, the Brutalist, I think is pretty much a lock on a nomination. Complete Unknown's definitely going to get nominated. Um, I don't know if September 5th is September 5 is going to get in for when they get to the Oscars, but I see this as a good sign. Um, Substance is definitely getting in. Amelia Perez definitely getting in.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I am curious and yet dreading seeing that. It's on Netflix now, so it's
I am
available.
not gonna watch that
Um,
at all.
the
Yeah, I
movie
got a
that I
screener
think,
for it.
the one
Didn't
that
wanna
I
watch
think
it.
can sneak in is this movie A Real Pain, which is Jesse Eisenberg wrote and
Mm.
directed and stars in it. And Kieran Culkin is basically sweeping the supporting actor awards for this. He's a lock on a nomination, probably a win. Um, uh, I haven't seen it. Hoping to do it in the next week or so. Film about I don't remember if they're brothers or if they're cousins,
Yeah, I can't
but
remember the
and
premise either.
they go to they kind of learn some family history that goes back to the Holocaust and whatnot. So that sounds like an interesting film. I got a feeling it's going to sneak in there for Best Picture. I think it's going to
Okay.
get in. It's definitely going to be Culkin's definitely getting nominated. Um, it's probably going to get a screenplay nomination. Um, I wouldn't be surprised. Um, yeah, I think that's going to be the list. Like I said, maybe the Wild Robot sneaks in there and maybe knocks September 5 out. We'll see. I'd like to see September 5 in there, but
I
I
would
don't know.
too. I don't think it's gonna win if
Oh
it makes
no, it's
it.
no, it's not like no.
Unfortunately, it will not.
It's I just I've got this sneaking suspicion it's going to be Amelia Perez.
Just gosh, there's a lot of people that are just pulling for any movie other than Amelia Perez. Oh my goodness, the clips I've seen of it. The clips I've seen of it of what's her face, Selena Gomez. Lord have mercy. Oh, her acting is atrocious, and her Spanish, yes, her Spanish is terrible. And people get all they get their undies a little bit in a twist that this has been pointed out. But if you're going to play a role like that, you need to be convincing. And it was so bad, it's hard to even understand what she's saying because she's not a native Spanish speaker. She never grew up learning Spanish. So, yeah. The fact that I don't know if she's been nominated for anything for it, but she definitely doesn't deserve a nomination. I don't think she's that great of an actor anyway. I have heard that what's her name? Oh my gosh. Saldana. I've heard that she did really good in it. So she may get some sort of nomination. She's won multiple awards for that.
Yeah, she has. Yeah. Well, I have some movies to catch up on.
You have fun with that.
Yeah.
I am not. They sent me a screener for that too. They sent me a screener for A Real Pain, and they sent me a screener for Nickel Boys, which might have expired already. But I was kind of
Nickel
interested
Boys.
to see that. But I've heard it's really good. Yeah, I've heard good things about that as well.
There was a question, and we'll get to it and then start wrapping things up. Is it hard to apply for screeners?
So there are some sites where you can get on a list, and you don't even have to be a film critic. There's a site called iscreening.com or so. I can't remember how I got on that list. And they would send me stuff to watch even before I started doing this, like, actually being a film critic. But typically to get screeners, you have to somehow be connected with a critics group. And when you're connected with a critics group, then your name will go on a list. And these companies that send out these screeners, they have your information and they send it to you, especially around awards season. I've got so many screeners, I'm not going to be able to watch them all. So yeah, that's basically, so like I got in through being a member of GAFCA, the Georgia Film Critics Association. And so that's how my name got on the list. But there are, sometimes they will have advanced screenings of films in your area, GoFobo screenings or something like that. Might be some stuff in your local area too. Sometimes there's like a mailing list in my local area that will send me notifications of advanced screeners for movies, being able to watch a movie virtually. So yeah, there's different ways to do it. Hope that answers the question sufficiently.
All right. Let's see. For those of you who have not seen the meme, let me
that meme. Put it up.
Put myself up on Still Store here at Cambot. And all right. So the story of how Conclave wins Best Picture, thanks to
I thought this was funny.
on Twitter. The Brutalist. None of the voters watched used AI. It can't be you. And Nora doesn't feel Oscar-y enough. Intimacy coordinator controversy. It can't be you either. Amelia Perez. Everyone hates you.
Yeah.
Enclave. Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
So I was like,
Why
oh, this
not?
is great.
All right.
We'll
All right.
see.
Well, we'll see. Well, it sounds like a great list to be on. I barely have theaters locally.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks. I feel your pain.
All right. Well, it's about that time. Once we get the nominations and we're a little closer to Oscar time, we'll come back and kind of do a little bit of a wrap up, which I was kind of hoping would be tonight, but
Yeah.
real life intervened.
Right. True.
Men plan, God laughs.
Isn't
All
that the
right.
truth?
So, son, what do you have coming up for your channel?
I don't have anything immediately on the horizon. I was hoping to finish Silo. I've been watching the last episode of Silo for like weeks, maybe months now.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wanting to do a review for that. Maybe that'll happen this week. And then I'm going to go see Flight Risk on Friday. And so we'll hopefully be able to get a review up this weekend. The reason I'm seeing it on Friday is because I'm going to be on Paul's channel off the cover for his Thirsty Thursdays on Thursday. So
Yes,
that's really the only immediate thing.
Yeah. And hopefully, if all goes well with me and I don't have any internet issues this time around, hopefully I
I
will be able
know.
to join that broadcast as well. I am scheduled to be
Fingers
there as well.
crossed.
So fingers crossed. All right, let's see. Tuesday, going to be a bit of a busy night for me. Will be at 8 p.m. Live from Sparkwood 21, which is my Twin Peaks retrospective series, which will, of course, be a tribute to the late, great creator of the show, David Lynch. I will be joined by Trey Pacelli, Netter's Network and Aged Boomer. We are going to be starting at a special time, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Followed right after by my appearance on Toxic Tuesday over on 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser. That'll be at about 9:35 p.m. And we're going to be discussing The Equalizer 3. All right. Of course, very good movie. And of course, as we said, Thursday will be Thirsty Thursdays over on Off the Covers channel. And then, of course, will be my program later that night at 11:30, Coming Attractions. And then and then you'll find out what I'm going to be doing in the
For the
upcoming weeks.
weekend.
Oh, speaking of Thursday, I almost forgot. 3:30 that afternoon, I will be returning with Outlaw Bill for Action Theater, and we are going to be watching the first Tom Cruise Jack Reacher movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And John Doe says, so happy to have this start of the week stream back.
Starring Werner Herzog.
Yes. And it comes back around to Werner Herzog.
Yeah.
Who knew?
We started off with him. Sort of, kind of.
Well, then I think we should end with him. All right. Well, yeah. This is in case YouTube makes me cut at going to Bunnymen.
Oh, yeah. At the beginning, yeah.
Any final words before we close it out?
I don't have any final words, actually. I'm am feeling a little bit brain dead. Yeah, I want to have more reviews, but yeah, it's been busy. It's been busy with my day job, so.
Right.
But thanks for showing up, everybody. It was nice chatting. It's cool to do this
Yes, and
again, even though it's late for me.
we kept it to 96 minutes.
Yeah, not too bad. Hopefully, I'll get to bed before 2.
Yeah. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Reserved Seats. I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I want to thank everyone who is watching on X. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. I want to thank everybody that joined us here in the chat. Arturo, thank you for being here. John Doe Juggalo, I want to thank Illuminated Pro for joining us. It was nice having you in the chat. I want to thank Mark Malnikoff, our man from the future, Sashi. Anime Night 1992. Let's see. Euler Greg. It was good to see you. Logical Spark. Space Fraggle. Corey of Wilkie's Movies and Music. Darkwoods Presents. Connie Cleary. And Curtis Selby, who's probably asleep by now.
Yeah, most likely.
All right. From HQ and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond, good night. Take care. Stay strong. Be safe and healthy. Stay warm because the snow's coming.
Ooh, it's going to be cold. Cold.
Yes. Because this is how we win.